So I've added a new lens to my collection. This is a Sigma 105 and it's a macro lens. And in this video I'm going to tell you why I got it, what it does, and is it any good or not. Plus I'm also going to talk a little bit about an accessory I've bought which is really useful to go with this and some other bits.
You're the one I want. You're the one I need. I wanna hold you 'cause I need.
So yes, I've got another prime lens, and that was the purpose of getting this. I already have prime lenses, and I mean prime, I don't mean Amazon Prime, and I don't mean KSI's Prime either, nor do I mean Pride.
You by my side.
What I mean is prime lenses are lenses that are fixed focal length. So they don't have any zoom features. So they have more elements that don't zoom backwards and forwards, so you get a better, normally a sharper picture. Now I have got quite a few primes going from 19mm up to 50, and I have quite a few 50s to be fair. Now last year or about a year ago I bought the Helios 135. That's this thing here. It's an old vintage lens, but it's a really good quality vintage lens. 135mm 2.8 fixed length prime. Very nice lens. I did a video on it, done some pictures with it. This is a screw mount, uses an M42 screw mount to be adapted to my Pentax camera, but it also allowed me to use it on the Sony, which is where this comes into it. This is a Sigma 105 2.8 macro prime lens. It's fully automatic. I can use it on the Pentax fully automatic, but it also has features I can use it on the Sony with a mount. Now this isn't a new lens. Unfortunately Sigma don't make a 105 macro for the Pentax range of cameras anymore. They sort of stopped mid 2000s, around 2014, something like that. So this lens is from before then. This is a EXDG lens from their EX range from sort of early 2000s, and they made a lot of really good high quality lenses back then. So I bought this one on eBay, bought it, it's perfect condition, it's absolutely spotless, but it's one of the only ones I can get now to fit that make of camera. Sigmas back in the day used to come with these big padded travel bags, which is really nice actually. Instead of a little case like some of the other lenses I've got, you've got a proper bag with a belt clip and a little toggle thing at the top to tighten it up. Your lens is in there, so that's really solid. Then you've got your lens. You've got an aperture ring, which is very, very useful, as I said, for the Sony. So if I'm using it on the Sony with an adapter, the Sony won't work with lenses without an aperture ring. Now the newer versions of these still have an aperture ring, but it's not fixed, it's quite similar. Some manufacturers don't have aperture rings, like some of the lenses I've got, the previous prime I've got for my Pentax, this is a 50mm prime. This I can't use on the Sony because there's no aperture ring. This is designed specifically for digital cameras. This one is designed for digital and film cameras, manual controlled cameras, so it's why it's got an aperture ring. And there's a few other bits on it. You've got a limit button and we've also got a clutch, but I'll get to those in a sec. The main thing I love about these lenses back from that era, they were very, very high quality. We've got a nice strong sturdy metal mount, lovely large bit of glass as you can see. The newer ones, the lens is right at the front up here, which if you're using it as a macro lens does mean you could touch the object if you get too close. It also means you need a sunshade on it. This one does come with a sunshade, but you don't actually need it because the lens is set quite a long way back into the barrel, so you don't actually need to use a sunshade, and you're not going to hit anything if you get very close. And this lens does get very close. As a macro lens, this lens will get up to within literally a few millimeters of your subject and give you a very, very close shot. That's done by focusing it, so if you focus it, you'll see it extends right out. And you've got a set of markings, one for manual focus, one for autofocus. But that's how it extends. It's not zooming, this is the full range of its focus, as you can see. It does have a button on the side to call limit. Limit again is also for the focusing, for macro only. You can limit it so it's very close and it won't go backwards and forwards looking for an ordinary shot. So you press the limit button and then you have it at a set focal distance. And when it's set into limit, you'll see that the focusing is strict. It will only go between here and here. Undo that and it goes back in. Construction of these things are brilliant. I love these when they first come out. They've got a nice sort of a metallic-y finish to the case. It's very well constructed, very good, premium looking. And it was a premium lens. I mean, when these lenses were new, this was around the £650 mark. So it was an expensive lens. Now you can pick them up used for about anywhere. Well, some people are still selling them for £200-300. You can, if you're buying it for a certain types of mounts, like mine. The Pentax mounts are not so popular, so I can get this for less than £100. And it is in perfect, spotless condition. It looks like it's hardly ever been used. It's made in Japan, which is why it's such a good quality. You find that some of the other lenses, like the Pentax lenses I've got here, and some of the Tamron lenses are made in places like Thailand, Vietnam, things like that. Their earlier lenses used to be made in Japan. Their newer ones aren't. Sigma still produce a lot of their lenses in Japan, and that gives you a much higher build quality and reliability record, should we say. Now, I didn't just buy this lens as a macro lens. There are other uses for it, which is why I've got it, because it's a prime and because it's a long distance primer 105. This might be really useful. I'm hoping it to be really useful for things like street photography. If I'm going to be out using it in the street, I didn't get to do a lot of that last year, and I haven't done anything this year. And in fact, I've had this for about 2 and a bit weeks. The weather outside has been absolutely bloody horrible. It's been grey or it's been raining. It's been nasty. So I haven't had the opportunity to get out and do this and get this video out. I've been trying to do this video for weeks, but haven't had the chance because the weather's so nasty. And I wanted to get out and do some decent photography with it. I've given up now and I've done a little bit, but I thought I'll sod it. It's going to stay grey for a while, so I've got to do this anyway. It's definitely not a landscape lens or an architecture lens because of the 105 range. 105mm is a telephoto lens. It does mean that you can get a long way from your subject and still get a blurry background, which you can't do with some of the shorter range lenses. Now, it's a 2.8, so you can go for a very, very, very blurry background, but you don't even need it. If you stick it to 5.6, still have a very blurry background because it's a 105 lens. The macro side of it is actually very clever because it's also got a clutch system built into it, or they Sigma call it dual focus. This thing here locks up and down. This position means it's in autofocus, so the camera's in autofocus. If I touch this, it doesn't do anything, it just slides around, which means if I've got the camera fixed and it's in a focal plane and it's fixed on something, I accidentally move the lens whilst I'm fiddling or trying to hold it, it doesn't do anything, it stays perfectly in focus. If I want to manually focus, push this back and then you've got full control of this ring, and it also moves. If it's in autofocus and the camera focuses, this will move as the camera focuses. So it's a really useful lens and I'm going to find a lot of uses for it, hopefully, and the image quality from it is bloody good. It's a super quality lens, which means it's going to have super quality sharp images. Something else I've also added to sort of go along with this if I am doing macro photography and many other things as well though, I bought myself a couple of these Smallrig magic arms. They are absolutely fantastic. You get an arm and a clamp. Basically everything's fixed to this bit here, so under this you can move it with the ends, you can move the arm around, tighten this up, and everything, the ends, the lot, everything is fixed and solid in place, which is ideal for me for holding lights when I'm filming something close here on the desk. This and the clamp holding it onto the desk, or I can use these as mounts for GoPros or the small Sony camera, which you can mount it to trees, branches, railings, edges of things, all sorts of stuff. There's loads of things you can mount this to. Plus, of course, with all my other accessories, I've got suction mounts and all sorts of bits. So this could be useful for using this as a GoPro holder or B-roll holder, as well as a light holder. I bought one of them from Amazon, and then I bought a second one once I realised how good it was from AliExpress. Now the one from AliExpress was probably, I think, £6 less, exactly the same one. This is the 11-inch arm with the mounting bracket with the clamp. They don't always come out. You can buy just the arm on its own, but that's pointless. You need to get sorts of adapters and things. I've already bought a few of these because the actual arm itself only comes with this mounting on here, so you need to get an adapter to adapt it to an ordinary tripod, or as I said, it will fix directly into the clamp. The one from Amazon came in one box, the one from AliExpress comes in 2 boxes, but it's exactly the same thing, one for the clamp, one for the arm. both exactly the same, so there's no difference. Sometimes you get worried about buying stuff off AliExpress thinking it might be counterfeit or dodgy. It isn't. It's exactly the same products. It was slightly cheaper. It's actually slightly better well packed because it actually got a nice bit of padding around it. Give me the arm, the adapter there, a tripod adapter as well, which is really, really useful. And I saved a bit of money by buying it on AliExpress. So if I buy more, I'll probably buy them on AliExpress. The difference being the Amazon one had the advantage of coming within a couple of days. So if it was in a hurry, I'll get the Amazon one. If I didn't worry about that, which I didn't because I'd already had one, then I can wait a couple of weeks for the AliExpress one and save myself, I said, about £6, something like that. So guys, thanks for watching. Hope you liked the review. If you do, please hit the like button down below. Please think about subscribing and hitting the notification bell to be notified when I upload the next load of videos. Thanks again. Bye bye.